bit southeast of Florida, sprawl the low-lying islands of the Bahamas, one of Great Britain's self-governing colonies. Its capital city, Nassau, is situated on the island of New Providence, about the size of Staten Island in New York Harbor. And to the harbor of Nassau, as calm as a pond, come great ocean liners loaded with passengers headed for this haunt of happiness and carry of summer sport. Immediately, the sea-going giant is surrounded by native black boys in small boats, eager to dive for flashing coins that will be thrown from crowded decks. Because of shallow shoals, a tender is drawn up to take off passengers who literally step across a threshold of romance. The landing is the introduction to much that is delightful, strange, and fascinating. Along the wharf, women of rather good size are seen making mats, baskets, and hats by braiding together strips of dry palm leaves. And what lady just off the boat could resist buying a new hat here, handmade in the very latest Nassau style, smartly modeled? Bahamian baskets of sisal are famous for their variety of color and form, and the women who preside over the wares are as picturesque as the merchandise. Both present a quaintness in coloring that is unique. Policemen, proud of their positions, shine as directors of traffic. They are selected with care and are well trained. A reminder of old Nassau is the Queen's Staircase, a flight of 66 steps cut from the solid rock. Quaint indeed is the old city, with its two-wheeled carts while the driver walks alongside, pink walls, and gardens of hibiscus. In striking contrast are the wide streets and magnificent hotels of modern Nassau, but they too are surrounded by the luxurious foliage of the tropics. Convenient and delightful are the outdoor swimming pools, for it's always June in the Bahamas. The English custom of afternoon tea is invariably followed, and where could it be more pleasantly served than in the shade of sheltering palms, at the same time watching a tennis match, which is always in season here. For, thanks to the Gulf Stream, even throughout the winter months, the average temperature is remarkably high. And golf, too, in unsurpassed settings. One of the sights of Nassau is the huge silk cotton tree with high twisting roots that could make stalls for elephants. Young Queen Victoria reigned when British shipping developed the Bahamas. A sightseeing excursion that visitors to Nassau seldom fail to take is a trip on a glass-bottom boat. For the waters about the islands are not only beautiful of color, but also clear beyond comparison. It is possible to see small objects on the bottom at a depth of more than 50 feet. A host of marine plants and animals flash by: anemones, sea fans, coral, mollusks, and shellfish. But William is not interested in the flora and fauna. Colonies of sponges branch out in a plant-like manner, though in reality they are a low form of animal. The sponge divers' fleet of schooners, clustered along the wharf, constitutes one of the highlights of Nassau, for the gathering of sponges is the most important industry on the islands. To cure the sponges, they are first spread about the boat, allowing the softened animal matter to run off. Then the sponges are taken to the packing yards in the familiar two-wheeled cart. Here, the work is done by the whole family. The baskets are unloaded, and the sponges are spread out in the sun to be dried and bleached. Now, in the women's division, they are sorted for size and cleaned of sand and shell. While over in the men's department, the sponges are trimmed with long, sharp knives that could do a lot of damage in case of trouble. Finally, pressed into bales of about 100 pounds each, the sponges are sent out to the markets of the world. Uh-oh. The moss-grown ramparts of old forts recall to mind the feverish history of the Spanish Main. Here, guns were mounted to repel attacks from pirate ships that for half a century appeared in Nassau Harbor with the skull and crossbones flying at the masthead. And later, during the war between the states, blockade runners unloaded cotton and stealthily took on contraband. But today, there's little to worry the Zouave sentry standing guard. For now, his interest has changed from the bloody battles of buccaneers to a game of English football, played in the spirit of clean sport, good fun, and fellowship. Or to watch a little practice at polo, silhouetted against the calm emerald sea. The beauty of the surrounding water is attractive to sailboats, as well as magnificent private yachts, off which fishing is a favorite sport. For in the waters near Nassau are found the big fish that sportsmen dream about. The fish, running alone or in schools, are of many varieties, and record catches are making these waters an angler's paradise. It looks like this fellow has caught himself a sailfish. Beautiful birds fly above, and below, a school of porpoises playfully leap in and out of the sea. These pig-like mammals are the acrobats of the ocean, tumbling and bouncing about the waves. Flash of a spike in the water, a terrific tug on the line, and off in the distance, a giant blue marlin jumps and turns and twists. Just as it begins to look like Mr. Marlin is done for, away goes the line again. There's plenty of fight left in this demon of the deep. At last, he's in. And now back to Nassau with its color ending the old new. Paradise Beach is famous the world over, for here is bathing at its best. From southern skies, the bright sun shines down on fine white sand, so alluring for long siestas between dips in the bracing surf. The haunting beauty that captivated ancient mariners lingers on.